made me sleep in the cold, so I've been giving her the chills for a decade. My mother only wanted one of her children to be resilient, me. Not my delicate sister who needed her beauty sleep in her princess room with underground heating. Not my baby brother who'd catch pneumonia if the thermostat dropped below 72. Just me, the middle child who needed to be toughened up. On my 7th birthday, she tried to make me sleep on the floor outside to fix my posture. Luckily, my adopted sister Nadia stopped it straight away. She'd spent years in foster homes where kids slept on floors. She wanted to break the cycle, but instead of stopping, my mom got crafty. Nadia's night shifts at the hospital meant bedtime was her territory. The first time, she locked me out of my room and made me sleep on the enclosed porch. Fresh air builds character, she said, watching me shiver in my school clothes. You're too soft. My siblings had electric heated blankets and portable radiators while I got the character building. My winter coat was constantly at the dry cleaners while I walked to school in a thin windbreaker. And when I came home, she'd stand at the porch door, arms crossed, making sure I couldn't get inside. Sometimes when I felt desperate, I'd knock on the door to see if she'd let me in. And in response, she'd cry, full-blown wailing about how I was too weak, how she was trying to help me, how ungrateful I was. The guilt worked. I learned to stop asking. Fast forward to high school, when the school nurse told me I had permanent circulation problems, as well as documented frostbite on 3 toes. I knew better than to say how I got them, so I lied and told her I had anemia. Some nights I'd huddle in the corner until 4 a.m., unable to feel my feet, practicing staying silent so she wouldn't hear my teeth chattering. And I never told Nadia directly, but I gave signs. It's really cold out there, I mentioned once over breakfast. Mom's laugh tinkled like breaking icicles. Listen to this one. We give her shelter and she complains about the temperature. Nadia ruffled my hair, distracted. She believed every word. The woman who brought her coffee in bed every morning couldn't possibly be freezing their kid to death. My survival came in bite-sized pieces. Sometimes Mrs. Griffin next door would accidentally leave her basement window open with a radiator and warm blanket in the center of the room when she saw Mom's car leave. I'd sneak over, sit by her radiator for 10 minutes, then sneak back before anyone noticed. But Mom caught me once. She made me watch while she called Mrs. Griffin and accused her of undermining parental authority. Mrs. Griffin never left her window open again. Everything changed senior year. My best friend Tara invited me to her family's beach house. It was 4 days of actual sunshine, warm sand, a real spring break. When I asked permission, Mom's face transformed into something arctic. Interesting priorities, she said softly. Here I thought family meant something to you. I took a deep breath. It's just a long weekend. Your character isn't built yet, she interrupted. Maybe when you're stronger. That night, while I shivered on my concrete floor watching Tara text me photos of the sunset from the boardwalk, a different kind of cold settled into my bones. The kind that comes with clarity. 8 years of freezing, and what had I learned? Only that some people feed on your suffering. I'd been enduring. Time to start planning. After college, I became a social worker, specifically in elder care. Got my certifications, built my reputation. Mom thought I was being noble. Really, I was becoming an expert in elder housing. Her hip gave out 4 years later at 65. Surgery went fine, but she needed placement for rehab. Lucky for her, she had a daughter who knew the system inside and out. I found her the perfect place. Shady Pines Rehabilitation Center. It barely had an average star rating of 3 stars. The room I chose had a window that didn't seal right. Management called it budget friendly. I called it perfect. It's the only one available, I told my sister Nadia, my face perfectly apologetic. Wait lists everywhere else are 6 months minimum. The facility provided the mattress, but you had to bring everything else yourself. Blankets, radiators, jumpers, everything I'd wanted as a kid. So I brought Mom exactly that. These nice thin blankets that held no warmth. When Mom complained, I tilted my head with concern. These are what I grew up with. They worked fine for me. Every visit, she'd be hunched in that bed, arms wrapped around herself trying to keep herself warm. The aides didn't care. They had 40 other patients. No one was bringing her extra layers. No one was sneaking her a space heater. For 10 years I visited, brought her iced coffee sometimes. I'd sit in my coat, perfectly comfortable and toasty, and ask about her day. On the last visit, she was barely breathing. Skin like paper, lips slightly blue. I held her hand, ice cold, just like mine used to be. I'm so cold, she whispered. I squeezed her fingers gently. I know exactly how that feels. She held my gaze for a long moment, then her eyes closed. I smiled brighter than I ever had.